to the charges. I was taking notes, so I'm, and hopefully you'll be able to correct me if I'm incorrect. Count one regarded wanton endangerment in the domicile, the home of somebody whose initials are CD. I heard the initial CE. I heard the initial ZF. What I don't think I heard was the initial BT, which is Breonna Taylor. We should check that and double check that because I don't want to be inaccurate. But what this sounds like, because we do know that the bullets that were wantonly fired, potentially or allegedly by Officer Hankison, entered other apartments. So that what he did was to endanger not just the people in the apartment, but people in neighboring apartments. It feels to me like these charges entirely delete the murder, entirely ignore the killing of Breonna Taylor, even if one of those three is about her. Because what they're saying, and I think people need to really think about this because we are talking about from a larger policy point of view. And I think Brittany is exactly right. We have to think bigger. What this indictment says of just this one officer, leaving the other two officers completely innocent, apparently, right? Officers Cosgrove and Mattingly did nothing wrong, according to this indictment. It means that if you live in the state of Kentucky, if you were ever associated in any way with somebody who was caught in the criminal justice system, even if they are no longer associated with you and no longer live in your home, police have the full right and are fully within the law to bust into your apartment while you're asleep after midnight and start shooting and can kill you as long as they aim. Say it again. As long as they aim their weapon at you or at anyone in the apartment, they are within the law, according to this indictment, according to AG Daniel Cameron. Police then have the full right to kill you because they are investigating an association that doesn't have anything to do with you committing a crime. You haven't done anything. They're not even accusing you of committing a crime. Apparently, I'm not sure they were sure who was in the apartment. They're just saying that apartment is associated with someone who was associated with you. So sorry, if they bust in and they start licking off shots and you get killed, your death is irrelevant to the law in the state of Kentucky. Your death doesn't matter. Your life doesn't matter. This was a Black Lives Don't Matter ruling because they said that her life was irrelevant, that the life of her boyfriend who was in the apartment with her didn't matter, that he attempting to defend her was the crime. The potential crime was him trying to defend his castle. So the castle doctrine is wiped away when police bust into your home. You don't have the right to defend yourself. Don't have the right to survive. You don't have the right to have medical attention applied to you. These officers don't even have to try to save you. They can just shoot you. That is what I heard in this. Now, it didn't surprise me. I will say I have lost the capacity to be surprised. I'm never surprised anymore because here's the problem. The authority who will decide if your life is worth pursuing a case over is the partner of the police. Their partner who works with them to make cases, who works with them every day, who knows them by first name, probably sends them Christmas cards, knows who their kids are, their friend, their partner. The prosecutor will decide if your life matters. And guess what? In 99% of those cases, they will say it doesn't.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.